Today in Agronomy on KFIL AM 1060 with Pioneer Field Agronomist Allie Wise and Josh Schaffner. Here's Josh and Allie.
Good morning, Southeast Minnesota. This is episode 18th. Josh, it's April 1st today. As I mentioned to you, just crazy, kind of hard to believe that we've turned the calendar to April 1st here today. That paired with the really nice weather we've had these past couple of days really has me just thinking and prepping for what we need to get lined up before we're ready for planters to roll in the field here.
Yeah, I'm kind of in our home studio here. I'm up in Zumbrota today, and yeah, it's really nice weather and been a nice stretch here. And looking forward to getting back out there. I think a lot of us have been a little bit cooped up here the last 10, 12 days, and I know we have some of our plot seed we got to distribute to our team here the next week or so, and hopefully the weather cooperates and we can get to the field soon. I know the local Pioneer rep team is busy pounding the highway, delivering seed right now, getting everything where it needs to be, and kind of some of that last minute prep here, and hopefully by the middle of the month here, hopefully we got some activity. I know some growers might be, maybe starting to drag some manure and some other things, so that's always exciting when you get some field activity. But we're getting close. Hopefully the weather keeps cooperating.
Yeah, absolutely. We are starting to see more of that activity in fields a little farther south where I live, and but that really does have us thinking about. I mean, you mentioned that our sales reps and ourselves were thinking about distributing plot seed and getting some of those things lined up as well. And along with that, I just kind of brings upon the idea of there's several different on-farm trials that I think one could consider across their operation to really just start to maximize their investments across their acres. What are some of those factors that are really driving a positive ROI across their operation? So just wanted to talk through some of those today in case it might spark some interest for someone wanting to incorporate these across a few of their acres. So for starters, Josh, one thing that comes to my mind would be just some different ways to really optimize seeding rate across your acres with some maybe specific on-farm trials.
Yeah, I mean, there's on-farm trial, on-farm research. It's something I encourage all of our customers to really take a look at each year. Input costs, none of this stuff is cheap anymore, and really understanding, getting that input cost dialed in and understanding the ROI, it's important. And in today's world with so many variable rate seeding planters out there, seeding rate's an easy thing to adjust, and it could be as simple as just doing some strips. I'm going to do some, maybe my standard rate is 36,000. I'm going to do a couple passes at 33, a couple at 38 to try to understand that interaction based on the current management I have. But I think it's always something that's extremely important. And then, Allie, as we try to make this a little bit more complex. Sometimes there's other factors that may interact with seeding rate, whether it be fungicide or other crop nutrition things. But seeding rate's always a good one to do, and I think a lot of growers maybe do that already. But I think every year, and maybe do multiple hybrids. It could vary so much by hybrid too, Allie. We talk about seeding rates vary, but yeah, doing some seeding rate trials on all your hybrids and letting that sort out, with as planted and yield mapping and having someone summarize that, it's a great way to try to dial in that seed input cost across the operation.
Yeah, I think so too. And you mentioned, Josh, outside of seeding rate, there's several different factors that you could maybe even layer in with some of those seeding rates, and fungicide was one of those that came top of mind. I think fungicide is that discussion that no matter the year, we're always making that decision of, maybe which hybrids we want to target over others. So I think there's some really nice work to be done, not only hybrid by hybrid, but farm by farm as well. One thing with fungicides just to consider, I think it's always nice if you have the type of setup that allows you to observe fungicide applications either with or without a fungicide application within the same field. I think if you can get multiple locations, we tend to break it out more of fungicide locations that are sprayed with and those that are without. So there's definitely some different ways that you can start to break out some of that data on the fungicide side of things. Anything you want to add in on the fungicide piece?
Yeah, no, I think it's always another, when we do look at an input cost, that's a big one, $25 to $30 an acre, but it's also one that we've seen that can have 15 to 30 bushel an acre, improvement, and calculating that ROI is important. And and other things I like to look at, obviously there's always some fertility, some nitrogen, sulfur opportunities there, starter on, starter off. Alternate row spacing, something we played around a little bit. There's a lot of people intrigued with that kind of a 20, 40, 20 row spacing, or that 30, 60, 30 or 60 inch. I know a lot of growers are kind of toying with some of those things, but we've had a little experience at row spacing thing, and it's really intriguing, and those are just some other easy trials. But the other part of it is some growers, maybe listening to this saying, oh, it takes so much time and it's a lot of organization. And one thing, Allie, that we try to do when growers have interest, depending on their technology that they have available to in the planter, but a lot of these things can really be set up as kind of a card in, card out trial where, basically a prescription loaded on the monitor for the planter, maybe a prescription for the sprayer, the fungicide, a prescription for the side dress thing. In some cases, these trials can be done strictly by, it's just a card in, card out trial and summarize it at the end. And Allie, I think that's one thing I know you do some of these, I do some of these, but I'd encourage growers to, maybe think about some of these factors and see if there's a technological way that they could do this without really hampering or slowing down the operation.
And when we come back from the break, we will talk about some of those specific ways that we could help you create that kind of card in, card out on farm trial. So when we come back, we'll talk about those different options.